Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to believe what just happened. For months, the so-called experts warned us Trump's tariffs will crash the economy. China will retaliate. America will suffer the most. Well, guess what? President Trump issued a final warning to China and the world laughed. But they're not laughing anymore, guys, because what happened next didn't just prove the critics wrong. It shattered records. It flipped the global trade game on its head, and it sent a shockwave through Beijing that they're still reeling from at this time. $23 billion in tariff revenue already, a 168% surge in just 90 days, trade deficit cut in half. And that's just the beginning, because this wasn't just about dollars and cents. This was about American power, American jobs, and a president who finally said enough is enough. So today, guys, I'm going to walk you through the exact moment President Trump dropped the hammer on China, what the media is desperately trying to cover up, and why this one move could change the global economy for decades to come. And trust me, wait until you hear which CEOs are now siding with Trump and what this means for the future of American industry. Stay locked in, guys, because in 60 seconds, I'm going to reveal the real reason China's government is panicking behind closed doors, and more importantly, why their next move may already be too late. Now, this is not just news, guys. This is literally history unfolding. Let's get into it. Oh, and if you appreciate the daily news updates, please take a second, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. So what was it that finally pushed President Trump to deliver this final warning to China? Well, let's talk about the trigger. For decades, China has been exploiting the U.S. through a brutal cocktail of intellectual property theft, currency manipulation, predatory dumping practices, you name it, flooding American markets with cheap goods, hollowing out our industries, and ultimately stealing our technology while we look the other way. And despite the multiple deals, summits, and promises, China just kept stalling. They were missing deadlines. They backtracked on agreements. And the worst of all, they bet that Trump wouldn't follow through. Big mistake. Big mistake. Because what just happened next was not just a warning, it was a line in the sand. Trump said it plain and simple. If China continues to cheat, they're going to pay. Big league. This time, no more delays, no more excuses. The U.S. will act decisively, period. Now, evidently, this was not a bluff. It wasn't posturing. It was a non-negotiable ultimatum backed by tariffs, legislation, and public pressure. And the deadline, it was crystal clear. The Trump administration set a hard cutoff for China to meet the trade obligations on rare earth exports, forced tech transfers, and reciprocal market access. But when the clock ran out, Beijing blinked. And that is exactly when everything changed, because what happened after the deadline was unlike anything we've seen in modern trade history, guys. In just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what happened the moment that deadline hit, including the $23 billion shock that caught China and the media was completely caught off guard. So stick with me, because this is exactly where the real fireworks begin. Don't fall into the trap of the one-size-fits-all Medicare advice, guys. Julie from Kansas trusted a local broker. She ended up getting screwed over, overpaying just to visit her own doctor. But guess what? Chapter fixed it. And now she's saving $400 a year. Jamie from Texas, Chapter helped her uncover hidden benefits, and she walked away saving $600. It's incredible. They don't just compare a few plans. They look at every option in your area and they find the perfect one that's right for you. Give her friends a Chapter a call right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on the website at askchapter.org/Ron. The help is free. Did I mention it's free? Yeah, totally free. And the savings are real. Give them a call. So what happened after President Trump's warning? Well, the numbers came in and the world was floored, because despite all the doom and gloom headlines, despite the media screaming that tariffs would tank the economy, despite China's attempts to call his bluff, Trump's plan didn't just work. It shattered every economic prediction. Let's go ahead and start with this, okay? In May alone, President Trump's tariffs pulled in a record-breaking $23 billion in revenue. Let that sink in. This is more money in 1 month than we used to see in an entire quarter. That is a 168% increase in just 90 days. And it's not some abstract number buried in a spreadsheet. That is $79 million per day being paid by foreign governments and multinational corporations just to access American consumers. This isn't a tax on us. This is a cover charge for the world. And if you want to sell to the greatest marketplace on earth under President Trump, you got to pay to enter. And this was only the first domino to fall, because as that money was flowing in, another shock wave hit them in the face. The U.S. trade deficit collapsed. We went from a bloated, embarrassing $162 billion trade gap to just $87 billion in 90 days. That's right, guys. Trump cut the trade deficit nearly in half, and most of it came from restructuring our trade with China. Why? Because the tariff worked exactly as planned. In fact, they probably worked better. They discouraged over-reliance on Chinese imports. They made American manufacturing competitive again, and they forced foreign suppliers to rethink their entire supply chain. And the media, well, let's just say that they were stunned, to say the least. The same people who told you President Trump's policies would crash the stock market, they're now scrambling to explain how the economy just posted one of the fastest deficit recoveries in U.S. history. But here's the kicker. We're just getting warmed up here, guys, because I want to walk you through exactly how President Trump's strategy triggered this $9 trillion investment surge, shook China's economy to the core, and got major U.S. CEOs to do something that they've never done before: stand with tariffs and against China. Stick around, guys, because this next part is going to blow your mind. Like, all right, so it's clear the tariffs worked, the deficit plummeted, and China, they got the message, right? But what happened next? Nobody saw this coming, because President Trump's warning didn't just hit China. It rattled the entire global market, and it woke up American industry in a way that we really haven't seen in decades. So let's talk about the next shockwave, a $9 trillion foreign investment surge. This is not a typo, guys. Within weeks of Trump's tariffs taking effect, foreign capital started flooding back into the U.S. And here's why. Because for the first time in a generation, America became the most attractive place to build things again. Manufacturing plants, microchip fabs, car factories, logistics hubs, you name it. It's all coming back. And where's that money coming from? Well, a lot of it's coming out of China. Multinationals are pulling their operations out of Beijing, out of Wuhan, out of Shenzhen, and they're putting them in areas like Arizona, Texas, Ohio. And you want to talk about poetic justice? These same CEOs who once fought against tariffs are now publicly thanking Trump. Guys, the CEO of Amazon flat out said tariffs have not impacted consumer spending at all. Guys, the CEO of NVIDIA, one of the most powerful tech players on the planet, has thrown his full support behind President Trump's mission to bring manufacturing back home. Major U.S. automakers are also saying that they'll eat the cost if it means America stays competitive. Let that sink in, guys. CEOs are now saying we'll take the hit because America comes first. That has never happened before. And what about China? Oh, of course, they're scrambling. While U.S. factories are reopening and investments pour in, China's facing a supply chain exodus. China's facing slowdowns in exports and internal panic behind closed doors. Their state media is spinning stories trying to save face while foreign companies quietly move their money out. So they thought that they could call Trump's bluff. Now they're losing their grip on the global market, and rather fast. So wait until you hear what other countries did next, because I want to break down exactly how President Trump's ultimatum didn't just shake China. It made the world take notice. Nations are rushing to drop tariffs and strike better deals with the U.S. and President Trump's plan. It's turning into a global economic revolution. Now, once you realize the system is rigged, you really can't unsee it. The fake smiles, the endless Zoom calls, the paycheck that vanishes by the 15th. I mean, you feel it every Monday morning, and deep down inside, you know, this is not what life is meant to be. Guys, the Liberty Pursuit Network is for people who have woken up and they want out for good. They're tired of their boss having their thumb on them, begging for some time off, begging for a measly 3% raise after slaving all year. If that's you and you're ready to replace your job before it replaces you, I want you to click the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description and join us over in the Liberty Pursuit Network and start today. All right, guys. So let me ask you something. What happens when the world realizes that President Trump means business and that the United States is done being the world's economic punching bag? Well, they fold, and they fold fast, because once China started feeling the heat, other countries, they got the message loud and clear. This isn't the old America. This isn't the Biden era weakness. This is Trump's America. And if you want access to our markets, you're going to play by our rules. And just like that, a domino effect started. Guys, we saw multiple countries begin slashing their own predatory tariffs on U.S. goods, practically begging to keep trade relations open. You had entire economies, ones that used to gouge us with these 30%, 40%, even 50% tariffs, reverse course overnight. Why? Because they saw what just happened to China, and they knew they were next. Meanwhile, corporate America is shifting like never before. Remember when the CEOs used to whine about tariffs? Now, they're lining up behind Trump publicly. These aren't small players either, guys. We're talking tech giants like NVIDIA. We're talking automotive leaders, logistics and retail billionaires, guys. And they're finally realizing what President Trump knew from the very beginning, that depending on China for our supply chains is like building our house on sand in the middle of a hurricane on top of that. So this isn't just a economic shift. This is clearly a cultural one. And this is also America first becoming the new normal. Let's be clear. The economy is on fire. Unemployment low, consumer confidence sky high, tariffs now seen as the entry fee to the greatest consumer market on earth. If you want access to 320 million American buyers with deep wallets and credit, you're going to have to pay your toll at the gate. And guess what? They're lining up and they're paying. But we're not done yet, because I want to dive into how President Trump's strategy is restoring U.S. leverage, why China is facing economic pain like never before, and the one warning that Trump gave that still has not been answered. And if China gets this wrong, it could be checkmate. So you're not going to want to miss this. So we need to step back just for a second. We need to look at the big picture, because what we're witnessing right now today isn't just a string of economic wins. It's a total reset of the U.S. global leverage. For the first time in decades, America is now dictating the terms again. And it's about sending one message to every country that's taken advantage of us. Those days are over. We're not asking, we're not begging, we're demanding fairness. And we're enforcing it with real consequences. This is how you restore leverage in a world that forgot what American strength looks like. But while we're roaring back, China is bleeding over there. Factories are closing. Foreign contracts are vanishing. Exports are dropping. And the CCP, they're scrambling to control the narrative. Their media's put on a brave face, but behind closed doors, pure panic. Because China knows it's not just about the money anymore. It's about credibility. It's about control. And if they show weakness now, others will follow. And here's the chilling part. Trump's final warning to China was crystal clear. You can choose to work with us, or you can watch your economy crumble. So far, they've chosen silence. And of course, if they don't move soon, it might be checkmate. Because as the American economy soars, as investors pour in, as allies fold under pressure, President Trump's strategy is becoming the new global standard. This is not just a policy. This is clearly a revolution, and China's running out of time to adapt. So the next time somebody tells you tariffs don't work, or that Trump's just blustering, or that America can't compete, I want you to remind them of this moment here. You remind them what happened when Trump gave his final warning and the world watched in disbelief at what followed. $23 billion in a month, trade deficit cut in half, $9 trillion in foreign investment, and most of all, a president who backed up his words with action and results you just can't ignore. So if you think more people need to hear this truth, I want you to do me a favor. Drop a like for the video, share it, and hit the subscribe button. Let's keep pushing back against the spin, and let's keep standing for a country that puts America first again. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay sharp, stay free.